Hey everyone, this is Alex with Unicorn Riot. We are here at a road blockade to a construction work site for the Line 3 tar sands pipeline here in Anishinaabe territory, also known as northern Minnesota. About 4 or 5 miles away, there's another blockade there as well. So water protectors here today have the goal of blocking as many access points to some work sites as possible. If you want to introduce yourself and say why you're a part of today.
Hititi Naku Sage. Do I look at you or them? Hititi Naku Sage. Good morning. We are here on Betau, Basau, the Great Lakes, the land of the Great Lakes. Homelands of the Anishinaabe, Dakota, Sac Fox, Iowa, Ho-Chunk, Cheyenne, and Arapaho people. I'm Big Wind, I'm Northern Arapaho. I'm here with my comrade Danny, he's Shoshone, and we're here to stop Line 3. For a millennia, we have depended on a stable climate for our survival. And in 2021, that's all at risk. We're here in northern Minnesota right now, and as you can see, they're building Line 3, which is currently desecrating pristine wetlands, violating treaty obligations, but if complete, will double the capacity of the tar sands that's coming from Alberta, and with that would hinder our obligations of meeting the Paris Climate Accord. We know the indigenous people who keep traditional ecological knowledge, that it's imperative to the shared solutions of the current climate crisis. When you look at the world, while only making up less than 4% of the human population, indigenous people are protecting 80% of the world's biodiversity. And I don't think that's a coincidence. But with that being said, I have to be real. Just because of that doesn't devoid ourselves from this fossil fuel addiction economy. And because of that, it allows multinational corporations like Enbridge to go and have backdoor deals with government-sanctioned business councils so that we get crumbs compared to what they are actually making. And for generations, that's bought in our silence. And right now, no more man camps, no more selling our voice, and it won't be silenced. And so here I have a per cap payment from the government that, this is because I get a check. This is that we get a little piece of the pie, right? And they were stealing it from us before we were even getting any part of it. And at one point in time, we didn't understand the ecological impacts that it had or the health effects that it had in our environment. And so, follow me.
We're coming through with the live stream just so everyone.
So we're here today, and as I burn this per cap payment, it signifies the end of an era, death to the black snake, and the ushering of a new era where we all have access to clean drinking water, where we can rapidly transform our energy system to address just transition, and where we understand that the only way we're going to survive this climate crisis is by living in tandem with the nature around us.
And then here's the other water protector who is going to be locking down to this vehicle right here. You can introduce yourself and then say why you're here today.
All right, I'm Danny LeClaire. I'm here to help stop Line 3 because if this goes through, it's going to affect the headwaters of the Mississippi, along with that, all the water that the Mississippi touches, everything, all the lakes, all the streams, everything that it goes to, and then that by extension affects all the plants, the animals, the fish, the birds, the humans which have forgotten, the humans that are living on this land that have forgotten the importance of water, and in that turn, it'll affect the whole continent, the whole country. If some people need it to understand it in that way, it'll affect this nation. It's like a lot of people don't get it because they just see money and they only think of money. The only way we gotta speak to them so they can understand is that it'll affect this nation and cause damage and irreversible damage to this nation, this country that they call America. It's gonna do real bad damage to that, and when that happens, this country is gonna be in real turmoil because we can't live without water. You cannot live 4 days without water, otherwise you will die. It's like, we need water, we need to protect it. If we don't protect it, and there's nothing left after that. Yeah, that's why I'm here to help stop it.
Thank you for talking. Can I ask you one question? How do you feel about like taking this risk to like your physical safety today?
I don't know. As long as you're doing things with a good mind for a good purpose, should be all right all the time. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So yeah, this banner says "Doomed to Line 3" or "Doomed to Us All." And similar to what Danny was just saying, if the pipeline gets completed, there's a high chance it will leak, and then the Mississippi affects over 15 million people, so that alone will damage a lot of drinking water, and not to mention Lake Superior in Wisconsin as well. That is the 5th largest freshwater in the world, so there's a lot at risk with this pipeline. And as Big Wind was saying, even though their tribe gets, a little bit of money from the oil and gas industry, that was why they burned their per cap check, because to them it's not worth it. So yeah, folks here today in northern Minnesota and Anishinaabe territory are standing up against Line 3. There's a flipped over car in the middle of this main access road, and about 4 or 5 miles down, I believe that way, there's another blockade. So the point of today for the water protectors is to block as much access to Line 3 construction work sites as possible. There are already some work trucks piling up on the other side of the car. I have not seen any law enforcement yet. More and more folks in Solidarity are showing up as well. And the two folks, Danny and Big Wind, are going to be locking down to the vehicle soon. And this sign says Manuman is life. That's the wild rice. It grows on water. One reason why folks oppose new pipeline infrastructure and like oil and gas and fossil fuel infrastructure are the man camps. And actually, a few days ago, 2 arrests were made in a human trafficking sting, and the 2 people were Line 3 workers. So that just goes to show, as water protectors say, to harm the land, to desecrate the land. The people who come in to do that tend to also mistreat and harm the humans who also are on this land. And there are a lot of statistics to show that that's the case at man camps that spring up when pipeline infrastructure is built. For folks who might just be stop construction vehicles from being able to access the Line 3 construction work site, there are this main road leads to other access roads. And this area, there's a lot of wetlands, and the Mississippi River is nearby as well. And this pipeline, which is being built, is a new pipeline, even though Enbridge says it's a in addition to their previous one, it's actually a completely new tar sands pipeline. It's going to be pumping over 900,000 barrels of oil a day, which is more than the Keystone XL would have pumped daily. And it's going to be going over the Mississippi 2 times. It's going to be crossing over 800 wetlands and over 200 bodies of water. And wild rice is a hugely significant part of Anishinaabe lifeways. And the wild rice grows in water. So if the pipeline is successfully laid in the ground and in all these waterways, it will affect the wild rice, along with the quality of the water and the humans and the animals and climate change. This new tar sands pipeline will actually exceed the amount of fossil fuels used by the entire state of Minnesota. So just this one pipeline is significantly increasing the amount of carbon in the atmosphere, the amount of energy use. And it's interesting because the tar sands industry is actually not doing well financially either. So that's why they have to do everything in excess to try to make a profit, because they're actually big corporations not doing so well in the tar sands industry right now. And all of this oil is going to be exported, so it's not going to be staying in this country. So again, we are here covering this blockade. We're going to be checking out the other one in a bit also. Right now there's a few work trucks piling up. I haven't noticed any law enforcement as of yet. I don't believe it's even 7 a.m. Central yet, but it's around that time. And as you can see, there's snow on the ground. It was snowing yesterday and into the evening, but it stopped. And in addition to the water that will likely be polluted because of the statistics of how many pipelines spill, especially Enbridge pipelines, the tar sands mining process wastes a ton of water as well. It takes about 3 to 4 barrels of water per 1 barrel of tar sands in the mining process. And then in the refining process, it takes an additional, I think, 6 to 8 barrels of water end up going in to the tailings ponds during that process. So it takes water to do the refining, it takes water to do the mining, and then the tar sands goes through the pipelines in all of these waterways underneath the Mississippi. And tar sands is a very viscous and corrosive crude oil. So going through a pipeline at high speeds, high pressure, 900,000 barrels a day, that's a lot for a pipeline to handle.
Oh, it's up. Hell yeah. John.
Some of these signs say tar sands, bloody hands, every pipeline has a body count, protect water, kill the black snake, tar sands kill, for future generations. There are a bunch of crows flying above us. I don't know if you can hear their cawing, but it's nice to hear. So we're just walking to the beginning of this access road. So the contradiction of this, on the left it says, no trespassing, Minnesota law prohibits trespassing on this property, Enbridge Energy LLC. And then right across the street, it says state forest lands. So on the right is all state forest land. And I mean, the left might be too, but just to show that this is state forest land, yet Enbridge is building their tar sands pipeline on it. And then someone put in a protect our water, no line 3 sign as well. And I believe those, there's some work trucks stopped on this side as well. Yeah, right there, there's some work trucks stopped. So yeah, it's still just about 7 a.m. Central, so this is when all the workers get to their work sites. So I'm sure that line's going to be getting much bigger. So we're approaching the car blockade again, where Danny and Big Wind have both locked down onto this upside down vehicle to halt work today at the Line 3 construction sites out here in northern Minnesota in Anishinaabe territory, the northeast of Minnesota. I think we'll walk down a little bit past the blockade. There's some workers outside of their cars, I think, taking some pictures. It's hard to tell how many trucks there are because I think they're pretty big trucks, but I think there are at least 3. So again, this road is like a main work access road for the work sites right out here. There's like, I think 8 or 10 little access roads off of this one that lead to work sites. So there's the car blockade down here, and then the tripod blockade 4 or 5 miles down. So yeah, some workers out of their cars. Yeah, there's 3 trucks. Right now we're in St. Louis County. So when law enforcement shows up, that is the county they'll be from. So up here in northern Minnesota and Anishinaabe territory, there have been a few different actions taking place. A new camp opened up called the White Earth Camp, and they had a treaty action a few days ago on Sunday to assert their treaty rights that are still in place, yet the state and corporations don't act like they're in place. So they were showing up right near the Mississippi headwaters, actually, right where Enbridge is planning to bore underneath the Mississippi River. So folks held space on a bridge overpass there for about 2 hours. And the week before that, or on Friday, there was a few stoppages, blockades in the road that people partook in, where some trucks were stopped from getting to work at a few different places at a time. So there have definitely been consistent actions, non-violent direct actions like this one, to slow and attempt to stop the construction of this tar sands pipeline. Again, this is a upside down vehicle that Danny and Big Wind are locked to, and they plan to remain here as long as possible. And there's another one about 4 or 5 miles away doing the same, blocking this main access road. And we're going to check that one out here in a bit. Thank you for watching. We'll be back up soon. And you can also check out unicornriot.ninja for our other Line 3 coverage from the previous week and from even years ago, because this fight has been going on for over 7 years. People trying to stop this pipeline. So thank you for watching, and we'll be back up shortly.